Oh, hey guys. Almost time to go get another haircut. Yeah. And shave whatever the fuck this is off. Like, I don't think I'll be doing that anymore. Meh. I tried. She convinced me and I tried. Alright, so. I am parked for next week's load. Well, next week's first delivery. Starting Monday. But finished the week. And this was Thanksgiving week, right? So the 22nd to the 29th. And let me tell you, I seem to have learned from last Thanksgiving. Because last Thanksgiving, I only did like $3,000 gross and sat like 4 days. But I think part of that was where I was. Because just bad timing more than anything else, I think. But this week's also good though. And if it's not obvious, when I say my cut, right? Like every load, I only get 88%, right? So, for example, on the school load last week, right? The overall cut to the truck, like the whole load was $249 to the truck. That's including all deadhead, like all miles, right? The truck got $249. My cut of it was, well, what did I say, $219? Something like that? Yeah. So, while I would love for my floor to be $2 plus, you know, it's just really fucking hard in this market. Really hard. But for example, they're a load this week, right? No. I guess I could wait, but let's go ahead and tell you. A load this week, right, was like, for example, to the truck was $224, but my cut was $197. You see what I'm saying? It's just hard. I think I'm gonna start, if I remember, getting a habit of putting down both rates. Like next week's load is fucking good regardless. It's just good regardless. I'm only doing like 1,500 miles next week, so. But I'm not hurting for money at all in those 1,500 miles. And nothing to do with the holiday either, and you know, rates coming out of the holidays either. It's a full week load. So just like last week, right? So let's get into it, okay? So I figured I was gonna get fucked, right? Which, to be fair, in finishing a week in Colorado. Means I got a deadhead, right? And I'm not going to Denver on a Thursday. By the time I get over there, it's like almost 2.5 hours anyways. Well, 2 hours, 2.5. To grab a $1 run to Idaho or Utah. So, if I'm going to deadhead anyways, might as well deadhead to an area where I know I'm going to get a load. And not risk fucking myself going to Thanksgiving week. Alright, so found a load, Ogden, Utah, to Pleasant Prairie, Wisconsin, okay? And this is a load I was kind of teasing about where I just stuck to my guns, right? And honestly, I could have got more money. Like, I could have got probably $900 more. I just deadhead up to, like, Twin Falls. But by the time I get up there, it's like 8 hours of driving, right? Just 500 miles at least. Like 550. Is it worth it? Sure. This truck could get 9 to 11 mpg empty. So, sure. It's only like 50 gallons of fuel. Maybe, right? That's only like $150. If I was a little bit more rested, I probably would have done that. Because it would have given me a little bit more revenue. But whatever. Alright, so I saw this load posted on the board for $3,000. Now, Ogden, I'm just gonna get that out of the way. It's 289 miles, okay? Just out of the way, 289. I saw this load posted on the board for $3,000, going from Ogden to Pleasant Prairie, Wisconsin. I wasn't wanting to pull it for $3,000, especially when I go up, when I can go up to Idaho and get 42, 45. I know Salt Lake City is a worse market than Idaho, but fine, right? I was tired. I didn't feel like deadheading that far, anyways. So I was hoping to get 34 to 38 range, going to that region, right? Especially going into the holiday. I forgot Salt Lake City's a little bit more strict on extra money. they're a little tight. They don't like to give it up. Not like Idaho. Idaho, you have a lot better luck. All right, so I emailed him, said 35. How close to 35 you can get? Meaning that's where I want to be. He says I can meet you at 32.50. I just stopped responding because at that point it tells me he's like right there. That is where he's wanting to go. About 20-30 minutes later, he comes back, says, "Can you make that work?" And I just had to be nice and message back saying no. 34 is where I need to be to go east for this week. Which preferably be higher, but I'm not wanting to go below there, right? And he said, "Okay, let me go talk to the boss." Because I've only done like one load for this broker. I don't know if I've done it, but it might have been my other driver. But regardless, I've only done like one load for this broker, so I don't really have experience based off their haggles. You know how much they willing to haggle or not. Well, he came back, says he can do 34, right? Which over $100, I'm not really gonna care. So I mean, whatever. So I said, okay, I could do that, right? So that my cut was $29.92. So 289 miles deadhead, 1424 loaded, 1713 total for my cut, $1.74. The overall load for all miles was 198. So if you take out the deadhead, it's a pretty good load. It's not great, but it's pretty good. It's profitable, right? I mean, it's profitable regardless anyways. My truck pretty much is break even on average around $1 for all costs. So I have some floor. It depends on how much I might want to sacrifice my pay. I don't sacrifice the truck's pay, but sacrifice my pay, which sometimes you gotta do. Because I mean, if you have one bad week, 2 bad weeks, but your other 2 weeks across the month are good, you can always kind of make up the difference, right? Especially the last 2 weeks, I'm averaging like 319 a mile. It's not great. I mean, all of November so far, I'm averaging, I think it was 240 loaded mile and 219 all miles, something like that. That's to the truck, obviously, right? So even that 319 in the last 2 weeks, that's to the truck. I found something I'm probably going to use for now. All right, so that load was easy peasy. It was 70 degrees continuous, 40,000 pounds. It was a 101. It was IV bags, sodium chloride, right? And when I got told 70 degrees continuous, and it was total medical supplies, I was like, what the fuck am I picking up? Because it's got to be light. And I didn't know the weight. I kind of booked this off medical supplies too, thinking I was like, cool, it's going to be light, 30,000 pounds. Still disappointed, but whatever. I mean, it was a little windy, so it helped. I went through the house too in this low, slept at home. I added on 100 miles, but I don't count that at all towards any of this work because I'm paying out of pocket for that, right? And it was really like 70 miles added on, whatever. So an hour driving, it's going the same direction anyways, instead of just going straight I-80 east, which I generally live in more careful in Wyoming, even though I'm from that state in the winter, but it was HM Schmetting, whatever you want to fucking say. If you guys know, you know. All right, next load. I finished Monday. I finished reset Tuesday. I could have grabbed the load Monday because I got that unloaded early and it was off in like 30 minutes. It was I went when I checked in the shipper in Ogden. I was like, hey, because my appointment was like 2:00 in the afternoon, right? So I just said, fuck it, we'll see if they'll load me early, right? Checked in there like 8:00 in the morning. I was like, hey, I wanted to go home for the night. Could you help me out? He's like, yeah, go ahead and get in the door. I was like, in and out quickly? He's like, yeah, I mean, just get in the door. You'll be in and out in like 20 minutes. I was like, okay. No joke. Got me out in like 20 minutes. I was like, fucking bet. Let's do it. They had a weird fucking name. It was a hub-to-hub transfer, pretty much. It was like Fresenius. Weird-ass fucking medical name is... Yeah, I don't even know how to fucking pronounce it, but... Fucking IV bags. The only reason why I know what those were is because that shithead up there. Because I had to give it to him myself. If I remember the fucking name right. But when also my woman who's in medical field, right, in school right now, when I told her they were IV bags and also told them sodium chloride, she didn't say no, so she didn't correct me or anything. So I don't know. Well, I guess sometimes I know things. I don't know. All right, so reload 26th to the 29th. Okay, so this is pretty much Tuesday to Friday. This did end up having an extra day on it because of Thanksgiving. All right. Honestly, I wish I could have got this off Friday or Thursday. A normal week, it would have got off Thursday, but whatever. I was able to chillax and get another reset in too, which is kind of funny. But all right, so it's from Wilton, Wisconsin. I could have got a load out of Chicago, but I decided to go out to Wisconsin because to get a little bit more money. I was going down to San Antonio, Texas. Unless you ponder why I'm going to Texas. Don't worry. This will pretty much be the last time for a bit. At least for next 4 weeks that I come down. Probably the rest of the year I will no longer be down south. Because I gotta after next week's load I have to immediately go west to position myself to grab the woman to go east. So because we're going, it's by the time I get west, it'll be the week going into the 6th to the 13th week. So whatever it is, something like that. So I don't have much wiggle room, but I've been having a good consistent set of weeks here, and I was not willing to I'm willing to just go out of my comfort zone and keep it going, especially with like the fundraiser stuff, whatever. I don't know when it starts, but so this Wilton, Wisconsin, from Martin Warehousing, right, going down to HEB, which already another gamble, but we'll get to that. This load was also posted for $3,000, and I said no, and I asked for 35, and I got told 33, and I said okay. My cut was 2904, deadhead 189 miles, loaded 1278, total 1467 for my cut, my rate, $1.97 per mile. Truck's rate before all cuts, right? So meaning what the truck, full gross to the truck, like I said, for all miles, $2.24. So, don't think I did it bad. It was Scotland too, which are known for being cheap. But also, you kind of have to take what you can take when you want to go down to Texas, because the loads going west are only paying $2,000 a mile to go 2,000 miles. I didn't really want to go back down to Texas. I want to go back to my little loop, but because I mean, if I get back to the West Coast going east, going to the same region, I'm getting like 45 to 5. So, but I wanted that, but I didn't really want to run at $2 a mile into weather, or $1 a mile. So for $2,000, pretty much just the West Coast going into weather, because there was back-to-back fronts coming in, and if I'm gonna risk as chilling, pretty much getting shut down, it's not what I want to do. But I got down to HEB. Well, I got down to San Antonio midday Wednesday. So went down to the Petro, where they have that, I guess, half the fucking intersection closed down, so you only have one way in and out, which kind of blows. And I decided to have Blackbeard Diner for Thanksgiving. I mean, they had like 3-course meal pretty much. I could either get turkey, prime rib, or ham. And I ate in the truck because I don't like eating in restaurants, like, especially if it's just me. I can eat in the truck, watch a show, whatever. Especially since I was worn out. Probably that means I'm gonna be tired immediately. But it came with $25. I got like 8 ounces of turkey, extra gravy, cornbread muffin. That was a pretty big one. Like, I was surprised how big it was. It was like it was pretty big. Green beans with like Canadian ham in it was a little weird, but it was good. I mean, a little good. Let's see what else. Oh, actual decent sized slice of pumpkin pie. It did come with a salad that I didn't want, so I just declined it. Could have got soup too. It seems like they want to give it to me for free anyways, but I said no. Cause no. And then I got lemonade, because I already, I try my hardest to just not have any carbonation, pretty much any soda, and it doesn't always work. Especially I've gotten a little lazy about cutting it out completely. I seem to have about 5 to 10 a year, which, whatever. I mean, I used to go through a 12-pack in like 2 to 3 days, so it's not that bad, I guess. It was pretty good. I finished it all, and I was like, fuck, I don't want to move. I sat right here. Didn't want to move. I ate a little too early, though, because I was like, I'm going to get up at 5:30 in the morning to go check in, because HEB allows you to check in 2 hours early. My appointment is at 7:30, right? But I had to shave off some hours for this load, because they also want to go home early. That, you know, they usually close at 4, but they want to go home around like 1, which must be nice, right? To shave off 3 hours of work, which makes my job a little harder, because when I booked this load, there was no appointment set. You kind of tell her, well, tell the broker when you want to be there, and then they'll let the shipper know. But it's also first come, first serve too, so it's whatever. So losing 3 hours pretty much means that I needed to get up early, which reason why I ate too early is because I started getting tired. And then when I did get up in bed, it was a little after, it was 2 hours after I ate, so I started waking back up again because I started digesting food. So, you know, yeah, I should have waited, but I was hungry. But I checked in San Antonio at 5:30, right, HEB. Parked along the wall, and 30 minutes like later, I get called into the door. They don't touch me for about 40 minutes, so now it's about 6. It's going into like 6:40, 6:30. Then they touch me, I'm unloaded, but like 7:10ish. I'm like, okay, cool, here we go. And I get my bills back at 8. I get called saying I'm done. 8 bills are in my trailer at 8. Considering my appointment was at 7:30, that's a win. That's a win. Especially since I was being for this load, the broker for this load started getting a little nervous because I guess the shipper was not wanting to really load any trucks after noon, and they were starting to put their foot down. So she was wanting to pull this load from me, even though, like I said, signed a Raycon with no appointment. So I don't know. I think I'm gonna save that story for next week because there's some details, but pretty much I kind of said some things, and she kind of worked with me and understood that I didn't appreciate it, but I get it, especially around the holidays. Fucking people from all different directions get a little fucking antsy and a little pissy, but whatever. I mean, it pays good enough to deal with some headaches. Doesn't mean I want to every fucking week. I guess she gets these every week or every month. Or try this again. Every year. So we'll see if I want to do them or have anybody do them next year. But I mean, what I do, 6,700 gross to the truck. So yeah, whatever, fucking 67. So whatever, 88% of that is 59 something. So consistent, right? Been very consistent. Very consistent. if I wasn't taking Christmas week off, I'm on pace right now to hit like 13, 14K take home for the month for December. So, yeah. Fucking sucks, but whatever. Take that week off shouldn't hurt my groove. Because especially with something I teased a couple months ago, a month ago, whatever. There are some things happening next year. I can't give details. I don't know what I'm gonna be able to do. Right? Maybe city to city and rate. It's like because I can't tell broker. I can't tell where or pick up. I could probably do delivery. I could probably do delivery. Probably do that. But like I said, last year was me learning a lot, and this year I've been a lot more consistent. But I've also been a lot more willing to take less money to keep consistency. So, like, I'm not throwing myself into dead areas, constantly like it was last year. Like, I'm not going to the East Coast all the time. Right? How often last year was it in North Carolina, South Carolina, Northeast, like Maine, for example, right? But there's always trade-offs. There's always those trade-offs. Anyways, I'm going to stop rambling now, and I'm going to go. So, you guys stay safe out there. Catch you next time. Bye!